Look, here's what we know. There has been a stress and strained and violent, often oppressive relationship between black men, the black community, African American community, and the criminal justice system for decades. You should not need by now the statistics that we know exist that shows the high percent of black males in prison compared to other races. You should not need the stats to know about the extremely high arrest rates for young black males and black men. You of course, do not need the statistics to have an understanding of black men dying at the hands of law enforcement. But there's more. What about domestic violence in the black community? Check this out. What about the education rate? How is it that in this day and age, there are so many black men and so many young brothers at a higher rate who don't finish high school? The literacy rate being low, that is, can't read well. Wow. The numbers and the stats can continue on and on and on. And what we know and what research has showed us, there's a relationship between low education, poverty, and the criminal justice system. Destiny Fulfilled, a black man's prevention and survival guide to police encounters. I am the Dr. Marlon Chris Herron, and I'm the author of Destiny Fulfilled. Now look at this and think about it, because the book is designed for mothers, grandmothers, fathers, uncles, aunties, mentors. It's designed for anyone who has a young black man that they love and they're concerned about, for them to sit down with and read the book. Here's another thing that we know. Our young brothers aren't going to read. Many of them aren't going to sit down and read nonfiction. But there is hope. This book is not perfect. It's just a guide. So here's some of the content there. All right, you got to put up with a small piece about me, from black boy to police chief. Many of you don't know me. Most of you don't know me. But how is it that this young, big-headed, big-eared black boy growing up in Los Angeles, California, to a single home through divorce, how is it through poverty and near homelessness that I was able to rise to police chief and as a national consultant, some other things, with many trials and tribulations there. One section that I really love and many folks get into is the police typology section. And in this section, we describe the different types of police officers. For example, there is Officer Brother. I was Officer Brother. There are many black male police officers who have a love for all, and a special love for young brothers in the black community. But sometimes they're disrespected and they're stepped to in the wrong way there. Or what about, let's say, Officer Bill? Officer Bill is the white officer, the cool, the friendly white officer who has a love and understanding, compassion for some of the black community more than some in the black community have for themselves there. Officer Bill, Officer Brother there. I love this one, Officer Sister. There are black female officers out there who know black men better than they know themselves, because they have or will or possibly carry them in the womb. They have an uncle, they have a father there. But yet we lump all police officers the same. And yes, we talk about Officer Klan. Speaks for himself. Speaks for itself. There's Officer Gung Ho. Officer Gung Ho is the one. All he wants to do is kick down doors, knock heads, take down names. He don't care if the person is black or white. There's Officer Whatever. Officer Whatever laughs at the black community. Laughs at black men, especially there, as he drives by and sees drug dealing or something else going on wrong. He doesn't care. He thinks they'll take care of themselves. All he wants to do is put in his time and retire. There's Officer Political, and there's so much more. In addition to police typologies, there's the black man typology, the spiritual brother, right? There is the intellectual brother. There's the social activist brother. We don't group all law enforcement the same. We should not allow anyone to group all of us as being the same. And here's the question. Who do you associate with? Does the intellectual brother still go back and hang with the social activist brother, or maybe even the community, the blue collar brother? You know, that's that brother who works 2 jobs, barely makes it, and yet sends his kids through school there. There's so much that can be learned from that blue collar brother. And there are black men and police perception. There's a piece that we do on that, because we have to have a better understanding of where we get that perception of law enforcement from there. There's a section that deals with police encounters. This is what a lot of folks want to do. What do we teach our young men? What do we teach them to do when they encounter the police while driving, while walking? Where do they position their hands? Where do they put their insurance card? Not a registration card. Not reaching for their license. There are so many things that we know that have already been shared. It's in the book that we can share with in teaching our young brothers what to do. And now, the unfortunate thing, this is focusing on young brothers because of the stats, and we're messing up, and our young sisters are catching up there as well. Here's another chapter here. Top 4 guaranteed police encounters. This thing is good to me there. It's can you believe that some young men of color are not told that, look now, you can't hang with everyone. Stupid partners. Look now, you got to be able to know when to leave being in the wrong place at the wrong time there. And what about gang banging there? It seems like we've just given up, because there are some of those who are at the edge, and I've worked with them, of being recruited or joining a gang. We can still reach them, but it takes the love and the interest to do that there. Now here's one that gets sort of tight there, and I know my mother did the best that she could do. What is it that a mother or a father tells their beloved young son about women, and especially about the wrong woman? Without any question, we address that domestic violence must not be. There's never an excuse. But we know we have to go a little bit further and remind the young brothers now, here are some of the situations that can attack your heart, your sexuality, and your pride. And you throw all 3 of them together, that's when we know it can be an explosive situation there. Policing the black community. There's some education there. A more in-depth view of the criminal justice system. We should not have to wait to go to prison or jail to learn about the criminal justice system. We talk about it. We break it down there. Many folks already know that a mistake can be made and somebody can serve time. Now what? Post-incarceration. What are some of the things that can be done to help our brothers out who have served time? And very close to serving time is for those who have some serious arrest records. Some strategies. Close to that, and the last section is planning for success. I cannot tell you how many young men and older men that I have met that have not sat down and done a life plan exercise in writing. How do you achieve your goal and your dreams if you have not written it down and wrote out and listed out the strategy? So there's a section in the book for that. You all, this is not perfect. Destiny Fulfilled. It's a remake of Destiny Denied. Destiny Fulfilled, a black man's prevention and survival guide to police encounters. Because here's what we know for sure. When the police encounter comes, right, that's a defining point. But there's so much that has to be taught and taken into consideration. One, before that police encounter, and I love this, to prevent the police encounter. I am the Dr. Marlon Chris Herring, Destiny Fulfilled, a black man's prevention and survival guide to police encounters. Available on Amazon, available on Kindle. MarlonHerring.com, MarlonHerring@yahoo.com.